we're doing the ceilings. This is not the opportune time to put the ceiling up. It's cold. If you are putting up a wood ceiling like I am, I have what will be my first wood panel. Oh, cedar. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. You're actually supposed to let the wood acclimate to the temperature that it's gonna be in, because it's gonna either contract or expand. Now, in one way, you can't really ever do that in a van because you're gonna go through all of the temperatures. Your wood is going to expand and contract throughout the year. This is just very much on one side of the spectrum right now. That means that in the summer, when it's like 100 and some degrees in the van, the wood is gonna swell and expand a lot. And if I'm not cautious of that, there's the potential for wood bowing, cracking, all of that stuff that we really don't want to do. Sometimes that's just the way that the timeline works out. Let's go ahead and try and put up the first panel. Look at that. Oh, it's bright as day in here. Holy guacamole. Oh. Let's do that. Again. Holy guacamole. Right now it's like 50 some degrees out and it's Christmas Eve. I'm working on the upper cabinetry, so I am building the shelving. I would say step one is making templates, but usually step one is extremely overthinking everything, doubting my capabilities to the core of a human being. Getting your shelves to actually be not even level, but not square either. What do you make it square with? The ceiling is rounded, so you can't make it square with that. The van itself gets skinnier actually as you get towards the back of it. All of this stuff is angled and rounded, so pretty much the only thing you have flat, closest thing to flat, is the floor. Find a surface that is parallel to the floor, or you can use the floor itself. Measure up from that. So I know these are pretty darn near parallel with the floor, so measure up from there to, you know, the inside of the cabinet, and then up from the outside. That way you can get everything at least squared off of the floor. I want the shelving to have the shape here, and this angle is basically because, again, I'm massive and I didn't want a sharp corner, because when I'm sitting here in the bench, on the bench, my head is basically gonna be resting against that cabinet. So this curve here is the curve of the van wall. This angle here and this angle here are squared. This cut here, this is a 45-degree angle. This cut here is basically giving me a channel for my wiring that I already have run up at the top corner of the van. And then this top piece is cut with the angle of the roof. And so another good tip, use one of these cutouts as your original, because if you were to use this one as your first template that you cut out, and then I have my second one here, and if I were to trace this out for my third piece, and then if I use my third piece to trace out my fourth piece, these are gonna vary slightly from piece to piece. And if you do that over, 5, 8 pieces, the last piece is probably gonna vary a ton from the original piece. So right now, I'm cutting 5. It's basically this notch there in the wood, and so the shelves themselves will notch, you can see, right in there. And basically that's just to make it a stronger joint. It is kind of time consuming without the proper equipment. Basically, I just made my notch in increments. I did an initial pass, and then I moved the table saw fence over, not even in a 1/16 of an inch, over multiple passes and moving it incrementally. I was able to get the proper width cut out. Well, this is where doing everything by yourself is a little tricky. Of a craftsman is whether you can change a drill bit with one hand. Alright. Oh boy. Whew. It's in here. It's feeling pretty sturdy. Test, you know, if you can grab a hold of this, you can push it, wiggle it back and forth. And right now the whole van is shaking back and forth. If you can do that and it doesn't budge at all, which it didn't, I'd heard no creaking or cracking or, you know, rubbing or anything like that. To me, that's kind of like the ultimate test. So if I can do that, I am pretty confident in its ability to hold in there, and I'd say we're good to go. I just gotta finish the faces of it, and yo, it's looking like a thing. I'm hoping that cedar is gonna help get rid of, you know, help along those center bolt holes. They're not bolt holes. I need to stop saying bolt holes. You have to actually kind of do a little woodworking. I should work on my words, but woodworking. And then I have to cut the shelves themselves. That's fun to say, shelves themselves.